Good morning, everybody. Welcome again to my class. Today, we are going to work on page 569, and the process we will do today is called Show What You Know. The idea for today's lesson is to let me understand what part of all this information you already know so you may have a background for what is coming in the next lesson. Okay, let's begin with this. The first part of this lesson asks you to identify the plane figures. Okay, so then who can tell me what's the name of the first figure? You're right, it looks like a rectangle. Now, what is the name for the second figure? The second figure is a mark that we usually see on the streets. But what figure does it represent? You're right, a triangle. But then comes the other figures that most of you already know. In this case, the idea is to count how many sides does it have, and then based on the number of sides, you name the polygon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So obviously this figure is called an octagon. You're right. Don't forget the prefix octa means 8. What about figure number 4? As you see, here we don't have a definite shape, but we know it's closed and it's made up of straight lines. So this is called a polygon. Okay, with number 5, we do have a definite shape. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this figure is called a pentagon. Don't forget the prefix penta means 5. Now we go with number 6. That's a very simple one. Circle. With number 7 and 8. Number 7 first. Notice that this figure has one set of parallel lines or parallel sides. So based on that idea, we call this a parallelogram. With figure number 8, we must count the number of sides. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, tenagon. Don't forget, right after 8, you count the number, and 10 is the first part of the name of the polygon, and agon is the second part, always. All right, now that we identify those figures, let's try to identify the other ones, but in this case, we are representing by solid figures or 3D figures. Don't forget, again, when I mean solid figures, I'm talking about 3D figures. Okay, so let's work. What type of figures do you see in this cereal box? Perfect, it's a prism. What is the figure for number 10? It looks like a circle, but we know it's not a circle, it's a sphere. What about number 11? You're right, cylinder. And number 12 is a very known figure, that's a cone. All right. With number 13, we have some very famous figures in Egypt. This is called a pyramid. What about number 14? You're right. That's a cube. And then number 15, look, number 13 and number 15 are very similar. But in this case, number 15, you see the base is a triangle. So then, because it's a triangle, this is called a triangular pyramid. And then 16 is repeated with number 10. 16 and 10 are repeated. It's in a sphere. Okay. Now that we have this and we still have some minutes to work on, we can warm up words with the vocabulary power. The first word that we need to warm up is edge. Edge is the line segment where two faces of a solid figure met. So what is that exactly? Exactly this line, you see? So we have this face and we have this other face of the figure, right? And they met exactly here. So this line is called the edge. Now, with that idea, you can also count how many edges can you see in a cube. For example, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And yeah, 12. Then you go to face. What is a face? It's a polygon that is a flat surface on a solid figure. So here we have the first face. You see? All this triangle here that make up these 3D figures is a face. So now you can count how many faces do you see. 1, 2, 3 in the back, 4 in the back, and 5 down like a base. Three-dimensional figures. A three-dimensional figure measures in a 3 directions, such as length, width, and height. Those are the 3 dimensions. And usually we call a three-dimensional figure a 3D figure. D stands for dimensional. Okay. And then we finish with vertex. The vertex is the point where 3 or more edges met in a solid figure. The top point of a coin, for example, right? So the top point of a cone is a vertex, but then we can also see some other vertices. In this case, here we can see a vertex, another vertex, other, another one here, another one here, other one here, and then one more in the back, right? Okay, this is today's lesson. I need you please to copy this information in your notebook. And you don't have to submit any work with this lesson. You only have to copy the information that we just studied and to solve in your notebook. Okay? Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next class.